Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cancer Research and Treatment's 13th International Patient Symposium on Myeloproliferative Neoplasms, or MPNs. I am Guy Thabuzena. I'm a hematologist-oncologist here at Weill Cornell Medicine and the New York Presbyterian Hospital with a specialty practice in myeloproliferative neoplasms. It is my privilege to serve as the program chair today for this symposium and to be a member of the Medical Advisory Board of CRNT that convenes this event and has been doing so for more than 20 years under Dr. Silver's leadership. I would like to thank you all for attending, thank our speakers for being with us today and share their knowledge. And I would like to send a special thanks in Dr. Silver's way for really giving me this important role for such an important event as of last year. And so this is my second symposium as chair. Today we are joined by more than 100 patients, friends, and families from 22 different states and internationally. Some of you are old friends who've been to these symposia before, and some of you are joining us for the first time. So it could be a little overwhelming for first-timers, but make sure to write down your questions as you think about them and ask us, because there's plenty of time during the Q&A session to address any of your questions. So before we begin our program today, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Jed Wolchok, who is the director of the Sandra and Edward Meyer Cancer Center and the professor of medicine at the Weill Cornell Medicine and New York Presbyterian Hospital. Dr. Wolchok is a physician-scientist who developed and continues to explore innovative immunotherapeutic strategies in the lab and in numerous pivotal clinical trials. Dr. Wolchok is a pioneer in his field who helped establish immunotherapy as a standard approach to cancer treatment. He led the clinical development of ipilimumab and its combination with nivolumab, immunotherapeutic agents that saved the lives of many patients with advanced melanoma. He received numerous awards for his work and held or continues to hold several leadership positions, including the American Society of Clinical Oncology and the Society of Immunotherapy of Cancer Board of Directors. I would now like to invite Dr. Wolchok to the podium for his opening remarks. Welcome, Dr. Wolchok.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Dr. Abuzena. It's really a privilege to be here with you all today. As I was sharing with Dr. Silver, I was a member of the faculty at Memorial Sloan Kettering for over 25 years before coming here about 2 years ago. I managed to cross East 69th Street without getting hit by a truck. Really, it's always been known that the research, treatment, and education program for MPNs, for myeloproliferative neoplasms, has been a true standout program within Weill Cornell Medicine and the Meyer Cancer Center. And this has really been due to the efforts that began with Dr. Silver, who has trained so many generations of true experts in the field, and who has also ensured that patients and their families have received cutting-edge education into the diagnosis and treatment of this unique group of diagnoses. There's been a lot of progress, and actually, just to follow on some of the kind remarks in my introduction, I was actually an interferon researcher early in my career, so I know the role that drugs like interferon can play in a variety of different illnesses, including some of the myeloproliferative neoplasms, but we actually look forward to more advancements in the treatment of these and other diseases. And I think that as part of our mission to care, discover, and teach here at Weill Cornell, we really don't concentrate only on teaching medical students and other physicians. We need to take responsibility for education of patients and their families very seriously. And it's events like this that demonstrate that ongoing commitment. I thank you all for sharing the day with us today, and I hope that you find this experience to be both enjoyable and educational. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wolchok, for setting the tone for the day, and we're excited to move forward and talk about not only immunotherapy, but other treatments out there for patients with MPNs. Speaking of treatments and companies that make them, I would like to acknowledge our sponsors for this event on this slide here. Thank you to all our sponsors for supporting this event and recognizing the importance of raising awareness and funding MPN research. A special shout out to our diamond level sponsor Insight, a longtime supporter of CRNT's mission and educational initiatives, particularly this symposium. We are grateful to so many returning and new industry supporters here with us today. A growing list of industry sponsors is always a good sign because it correlates with not only the number of new drugs that are in the market for patients with MPNs, but also more funding for research to hopefully not only treat these diseases, but hopefully cure them one day. By visiting the sponsors' exhibits over breaks and lunch, you have the opportunity to learn about the companies and the drugs available to treat MPNs. We are additionally grateful for individuals and foundation supporters who recognize the importance of educational programs like this. The generous gifts by all the sponsors in this room in support of this program have made the symposium more accessible to the patients and to family members who are interested in learning. Really, the gifts from our sponsors help underwrite this event, and it makes it possible for us to record these sessions so you can view them later on. So within the next couple of weeks, you will see these video recordings up on the CRT website, crt.org. Next, I would like to express our gratitude to all our speakers again who have taken the time to be with us today. This is a special day made extraordinary with these experts sharing their knowledge with us. Each of our speakers has an outstanding bio, so I won't spend a lot of time on the bio, and we have that all in the material that was distributed so you can look at their impressive credentials. I will be introducing the speakers by name and by institution. Lastly, I'd like to go over some administrative matters. We do have a question and answer session after the plenary, so make sure if any questions come up, you write them down on the notepad you have, and you pass them on to CRNT staff who will be standing by the door when you exit for breaks. And other than that, I think it's actually, I want to point out a few more things. There's a change in the schedule from previous years for those who have been here before. The primary change we've done this year is to actually create a disease-specific breakout session, Q&A session with the talks specific to that disease. So the talk on PV, ET, and myelofibrosis, each of these individual talks will be given in the Q&A session, and the plenary talks throughout the morning and early afternoon will be applicable to everybody from ET to PV to myelofibrosis. There is also a Belfer Lab tour which takes place during the evening reception tonight. If you're interested in touring lab facilities, please sign up. And with that, I would like to introduce Dave Booley, member of CRNT Board of Directors and longtime chair of the Patient Committee and the Symposium. Dave, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Guy. It's absolutely great to see all of you here. So welcome, everybody. I would like to at least understand a little bit more about you as an audience. So I'd like to know how many of you are here for the very first time at your first... Oh, wow. Well, welcome, everybody. It's great to have you all here. My first symposium was 2007. Who predates 2007? Oh, one in the background, member of our patient committee, David Alexander, wonderful. Okay. Oh, and another, fantastic. Two. So we've got new folks and we've got folks that have been around a long time. I hope very much that you enjoy this session. Cancer Research and Treatment Fund, which puts on this session, if you look to the middle of the mission, funds research emphasizing the cause, prevention, treatment, and cure of the MPNs. So this has always been an integral part of the outreach that CRNT has had. I invite you to look at the website, crt.org. It's got some great information there for patients, particularly many of you who raised your hand saying you're here for the first time. And as well, it's got information on funding we've done and other events that we run. For example, we've got a Cancer Survivors Hall of Fame fundraising dinner coming up in late November. Thanks to and a shout out really to the CRNT Patient Committee. This is a group of individuals who have volunteered, who come together and we annually discuss the content and the format of today's session. And I can say that we once again have adopted every one of the consensus recommendations of the committee. So this is really a symposium that to a large extent is designed by the patients for the patients. And now just as a last topic, a couple of personal thank yous. Starting at the bottom of the slide, Chad Fay and Mara Sanderson are here, and they've organized this whole affair from beginning to end. Two folks that aren't on the slide that are helping today, Maria Fay and Nikki Kimboko, will be directing you to various places during the day. Shout out to Tom Silver, the president of CR&T, who's out here in the audience somewhere. Wave, Tom. There we go. And special thanks to Dr. Dick Silver, of course. I think Geith has already mentioned he started this symposium 23 years ago, I think. And it's been going strong ever since. A terrific opportunity for patients to learn more about the disease. So that's it. Now we'll get started. Let me bring it back to Geith, who's going to introduce the plenary session first speaker.
All right, I think we're all eager to start.